Okay guys, just thought I would share this video. I bought my 2004 4Runner in an auction a few years ago, and I have been fixing small things on it a little bit at a time. And I noticed when I first got it that my windshield wiper fluids did not spray the windshield. So I kind of traced it down. It was either the motor or it was the lever inside of the car, and I decided to start with the motor that hooks into the reservoir. It's just this little piece right here. You can get it down at AutoZone or Advanced Auto if you want, but I had been going without it for so long that I just decided to buy it cheap online. But it's a part that fits exactly on the car itself. So the first thing that you're going to need to do in order to get to it, it is behind the front wheel well of the truck. So I turned my wheel to the outside. You can go ahead and take it off if you want, and that way you could get easier access to it. And to get to it, you can take this entire piece off that's on the inside. I'm sorry about the lighting. There are some 10mm bolts up in there that you can take off. I decided to see if I could get to it an easier way without taking the entire piece off. So what I did was, there are 3 little screws right here, and I just used my just a drill that I had, and there are 3 holes, one there, and one right there, that I just took the screws out, and then I was able to bend this backwards, and I just pushed it back there so that I could access the old motor right there. It's connected to the reservoir, and there is an electrical piece that connects right there. In order to get that electrical piece off, what you'll need to do is to take a flathead screwdriver and then stick it right up in there and then pull it out so that it disconnects the connector. And I just kind of pushed up on it and it just comes right off, just like that. So what I did then, before taking the motor out, I wanted to make sure that was the right piece before I did anything else. So I went ahead and I connected up the motor to the electrical piece, and you just plug it in right there. Nothing else is needed. And then I pulled the lever inside the truck, and I could hear the motor running. So I knew that that was the faulty part, and it wasn't a switch on the inside. And then that way you don't have a piece, if that's not it, if it's a fuse or if it's your lever on the inside, then you can exchange it rather easily if you need to, or return it for a refund, and then try to find out what the problem is. So that was the first thing that I did. So the second thing then I'm going to have to do is to drain the reservoir into a bucket. And mine is fairly full because I kept it full and none has come out. So that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to get my bucket, and then we'll come right back and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so the next thing you want to do, I went ahead and just got an old bucket here, put it up underneath, and there is a piece right there. And what you want to do, yeah, you can move the wires out of the way, and you just want to work that piece off until it comes off, and then from there the fluid is just going to drain out of there. There. That's a better stream right there. And then we'll just wait for it to drain. I'll hold that wire so I don't get water everywhere or windshield wiper fluid. And then we'll come back to take the motor out of the reservoir. Okay, so I've waited about 15 or 20 minutes, and you can see that is the slow way to drain it. I just didn't really want to take the motor off because I felt like it would be just a little bit too messy. It would come out real fast and be all over my carport. So the next thing you want to do is just remove the old motor. Now, I'm just real careful with it because I don't want to break the reservoir in any way, because I don't want to have to replace that. And then the rest of the fluid will just drain right out, and there you have the old motor where you can put your new one in. Don't know exactly why these motors go out like that. Doesn't look like it's clogged or anything. Everything still looks pretty good, but it just quit running. All right, so we'll come back and we'll just put that one off to the side and get our new motor right here. And the first thing that you're going to want to do when you go up in here is to take your little washer and put it in the hole to secure and to make a seal. You don't want to put your whole motor in all at once. Just go ahead and put that in there like that. Make sure that they are in there real good. Take your new motor. And then just want to push it in there real snug. Make sure that it's in there because you don't want it to leak all over the place. Now just make sure that it's in there nice and tight. And that looks like it's it. Then all you want to do then, put your connector back on. Make sure that it's on there all the way. Put your little connector back on. Push it down there, and it should secure itself. And gentlemen and ladies, if you're watching, that is how you replace your motor. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and test it. You can reuse your windshield wiper fluid that drained into your pan. And you can do that if you look inside and you don't see any kind of debris or anything like that, because you don't really want it to clog, because then you got a working motor and you got to go in and flush out your lines, and so you don't really want to do that. So I just put brand new windshield wiper fluid in there. So we're going to go ahead and refill it, and then we're going to test it and see if it leaks. Then we're going to test it out on the windshield. We'll be right back. Okay, so in the front of the vehicle on the right hand side, or the left hand side if you're looking at it, there's a place right there, and it clearly states, you can see the little spray marks. Mine's a little dirty. You just want to open that up. Get our new windshield wiper fluid. and I just go ahead and put the whole bottle in there. I'm sorry, I know this part of the video is boring. You probably fast forwarded through that because most of you already know how to do that. Just go ahead and close the lid. And then I'm going to come back down here, check to make sure that it's not leaking. And it does not appear that it is. So, once you have that done, we come around to the car, get inside. It would be great if I had my keys. Okay, now that we have our keys, just turn it on. And there you go. I now have some working windshield wiper fluid. It didn't look like it was spraying up very high, so I will check the lines and make sure that they're not clogged. And that is a different video, but that does show you how to replace the motor.